Hey everybody, this is Roberto. It's been a while since my last video. Um, just an update. So I've been in a 12-step program. I've been working with a sponsor. I had talked about having had a stroke back in 2019. I'm doing a lot better than I was as far as substance abuse. I still had some hiccups. I struggled here and there, but I fall off the wagon and get back on again the next day. So I haven't been able to accumulate 30 days of continuous sobriety, but my spiritual program is improving. I've been going to meetings several times a week. I try to go 4 or 5 days. I work with my sponsor once a week. I've gotten back hooked up in church environment and doing a men's Bible study one night a week, trying to build a network of people. Because in the past, my problem has been that even when I was plugged in a church or in a 12-step program, I don't really stay connected with people in the group. I'm kind of a private person. Also, if I decide that I want to drink or use, I'm not really trying to call people. I have a few times, but my track record with being able to get in touch with somebody has not been good. So I use that as an excuse to just decide not to do it. And I might text my sponsor or call him. And if he don't answer the phone, it's off to the races. And that is something that I really struggle with, because for me, step one is, admitting that I'm powerless over whatever it is, alcohol, fill in the blank for you. I have several different blanks that I have that I am powerless over. And see, my problem is, since I am typically a binge person, is I can go 15, 28 days without really, I'm not struggling. I'm not white knuckling it, but I like the last time I got some unexpected money, and I paid the vast majority of it. I used to pay off bills because I'm not making enough money to pay my bills with my part-time job, and I got denied for disability. So I knew that I needed to pay off a bunch of bills, but I had a couple $100 left, and I made a bad decision. And I was like, well, I'm just going to go ahead and go out and do this one more time. So that for me is when I talk, and I'm honest with my sponsor about it, and we talk about it. But he's like, that's step one right there. You're making a different decision than using, because there's only two kinds of will in life, and that's your will and God's will. And I've been doing it, Roberto's will for 30 some years. It hadn't worked out too good for me, but unfortunately in my case, I have moderated well enough throughout the years that it has been not negatively impactful enough. I see people in the program that are like, oh, I lost my house, my wife left me, I lost my job. And then I realized that it was just time to get rid of this problem. Well, that did not happen to me. I was still able to work. Oh yeah, I felt like crap. I mean, it ended up I had a stroke from just, burning the candle at both ends and just not being 20 years old anymore. And, I'm just going to stay up all night partying. And then, oh, wait, I got to do more of whatever it is to go to work today. And then when I get home from work at 4 or 5 in the afternoon, I got to sleep for, an extended period of time because I wore my body out. You can only do that so long when you get to be my age. And your body finally was like, yep, never mind, we're not doing this anymore. And I had a stroke. Well, thank God that it wasn't a severe one enough to where I'm, bedridden or, whatever, can't walk at all. I mean, yes, I've been negatively impacted by it and it sucks, but I can still work part-time. I can't work at my previous type of employment. And, I haven't been able to get disability. So I've had to work part-time. But I mean, money's tight, man. So, then I'm like, oh, the answer to this problem is to go spend more money that I don't have on a drug. Well, that's that's the insanity of addiction for me, because it's like that is not a conscious thought process. But looking back at it, I can say, you know what? I got a lot of stuff going on. I'm overwhelmed. I don't want to deal with it. And while I'm using, I'm not thinking about it. Yeah, the problem's still there the next day, and it sucks. But at the time when I'm partying, not what I'm worried about. I'm just like, I just want oblivion. I just don't want to think about it for a while. And, because of the boost in my brain chemicals, I actually feel somewhat good for a while, which I am, that's the addiction for me. I want to feel good. So anyway, this video is not about naltrexone, but I'll say just my personal experience with naltrexone is I was compliant with the therapy. And when I decided to drink, since I get that wild hair every 15 to 30 days, I would just, when I decided I was going to drink, I would get home from work, because it was normally on a night when I had to work and my son would be at work. I have a teenage son and he's at work, and I know I don't have to pick him up for a few hours. And so I would stop on the way home and get me some alcohol and come home, take my naltrexone, set the timer for an hour, eat some dinner, and then start drinking when the timer went off. Well, slowly but surely, I just got to the point where, I would drink less and less. Never drank after taking naltrexone the way I used to. Binge drink, pound a 6-pack of, high alcohol beer, because I like imported and, crap brew kind of beers, which are high in alcohol. I'd pound a 6-pack and then be back up at the store and get some more. And who knows, usually go up and go to the bar and try to get some drugs, after I get drunk. Well, it helped me, I would drink a couple, 3 beers, and then my brain was like, you know what, this is not what I'm looking for. So it didn't take me very long, 15, 20 times of drinking, to where my brain was like, you know what, that's not even an option. I'm not even worried about that. So then when I would get my wild hair, it would be for other substances that were like, this will get you there, man. The alcohol's not working anymore. The brain doesn't know why it's not working. It just knows it's not getting what it was getting. So I can tell you that, I really could care less about alcohol anymore. It's part of the routine when I do break down and use other substances, because it's just landing gear for me. I'm ready to go to bed now. I'm done partying. My substance is gone and I need to crash. So, let's take some sleeping pills and drink a few glasses of beer or the last couple bottles or whatever and go to bed. Now, this is not by any means a good plan. I will tell you it's dangerous. Surely that's what led to me having health problems. I had diabetes, type 2 diabetes. But since I have been in recovery, even though I have had a few lapses, which I like to call them lapses instead of relapses, because to me, a relapse is, okay, screw this. I'm going back to drinking again. And I drink for a long period of time. It gets bad again. Maybe I decide to quit again. But a lapse for me, and I know it's just, semantics, but for me, a lapse is, okay, I've been giving it up to my higher power for, let's say 16 days. I hadn't really thought much about it, but tonight I've decided that instead of God's way, it's going to be my way, and I'm going to do it again and try this insanity again and get different results from doing the same thing over and over again. Of course, that's not the thought process, but that's what is going on. And then the next day you're like, well, now I feel shitty or crappy because I drank last night. And so I know that this is not a good plan, and I'm going to go back and try recovery again. So then, I go back to doing it the way I'm supposed to. So to me, that's a lapse. If you are honest, in my opinion, if you're honest with another person, preferably your sponsor. I have a counselor too. Tell them what happened. get back in the program, go to meetings, talk to your sponsor, start working the steps again. Of course, you got to start over. Step one. My sponsor suggests 90 and 90. I have been unable to complete 90 and 90 personally because of my schedule. However, that is an excuse because, there are meetings available online. And so, I mean, I could be doing meetings online. Instead, I've just changed my schedule around because I like to go to the 5:30 meeting of Alcoholics Anonymous. But on Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, I'm at work at that time. And so I told my sponsors, like, say you go to a meeting. And I'm like, no, I had to work. And he's like, well, you do know, man, that there are other times that they have meetings, that's not the only meeting. So, sometimes the solution's right in your face and you just can't see it. So they have a 10 o'clock meeting that I like that they have on Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. So I have started going. I continue to go to my later in the day meetings during the week when I don't have to work. And then I've been getting up and going to a 10 o'clock meeting. So, I mean, they say, if you're willing to do whatever it takes, well, for me, I think I'm willing to do whatever it takes, but then the proof is in the pudding. If I don't do whatever it takes, then clearly I'm not willing to do whatever it takes. And so that goes back to my moderating. I'm like, I have a job, I have a house, I haven't lost my house. I have a son. Me and him are getting along better. So, I might not need to go to a meeting every day. Well, that may or may not be true, but I should go to a meeting or at least talk to my sponsor every day at this level of recovery. So all I can say is I'm losing weight. My blood sugar has improved a great deal since I've changed my diet. And, my connection with my higher power has improved. I am doing meditation and prayer, which is 11th step, just about every morning. If not, I do it later in the day. I've worked my way up from, short periods of meditation. Sitting still for a long time for me was not something that I could do. It was a discipline. Now I'm up to 30 minutes a day. I get up, I set the timer, I sit down, I meditate, I pray, and then I get up and start my day after that. And, I notice if I go without doing that I struggle more. There's just something for me. It's a reset for me. It keeps me grounded. And it's also, I've heard it said that, it's training your brain because, my impulse ran the show when I was in full blown active addiction. If my brain had the idea that it was time to go do something, oh man, I had to go now. I was in the car. And, I had a therapist that was teaching me about mindfulness meditation. And he was like, so before you went to the liquor store last night and got some drugs, did you meditate for 20 minutes? I'm like, no. ABC store was about to close, bro. How am I going to wait 20 minutes and not be able to buy alcohol? That's stupid. But now I have forced myself to get up in the morning and make it part of my routine. And I've seen improvement. And I heard in a meeting last night, a speaker shared, and he was like, prayer and meditation and inventory, which the inventory, the first time you do inventory in a 4th step, you kind of sit down and you come up with all the people you have resentments towards and different fears and people that you've done wrong and sexual misconducts. And you go through the process with your sponsor. You can do it from the big book too, but it's so simple that it's complicated. I needed help. So you do all that and then you realize, what's driving this insane behavior. So then after that, when you get to step 10, it's like a daily inventory that you do. Like I did my 4th step and came up with these people that I had resentments against and what was going on. I saw this pattern of things in me, character defects that were fueling this, and they were repeated over and over again. But then the other night I had a plumber that had to come out to my house, and man, he pissed me off. He did some stuff that I thought was sketchy, and I was mad, and I was getting a resentment towards him. So I sat down the next day and I was like, okay, I pretty much did a little inventory on him. That's the 10th step. All right, what did this dude do to piss me off? You know, why did that upset me so bad? And which of these character defects that I've already identified in step 4, or new ones maybe, are driving this resentment? And so that's what you do on a daily basis. You're supposed to either sit down at the end of the day and review your day. That's what the big book suggests. Or I've heard people say who've been in the program a long time, just call your sponsor when it happens. You know, oh, man, this guy's a tool. He pissed me off. This is what he did. And you talk about it with your sponsor and you work it out, and you figure out what the issues are at the time. And then you have to decide, okay, did I do something wrong? Did I cuss the dude out? Did I punch him in the face? You know, what's going on with that? Do I need to make an amends to him? Go to this dude and say, hey, man, I'm sorry I cussed you up and down. You know, I was having a bad day, whatever. Apologize to the guy. Or if it's something within me, then I need to deal with that. I need to say, okay, God, the reason I got so pissed off at this guy, I didn't punch him. I didn't cuss him, but he's living rent free in my head right now. And I know that's because it threatened this instinct in me. And this is a typical behavior for me where I, you know, whatever, I'm in fear of economic insecurity is a big one for me. You know, here I'm not making enough money to pay my bills, and I feel like the dude took advantage of me, and, you know, I'm stressing over it. So God, I need to trust you. I need to know that you got this, that I'm still okay. I didn't get kicked out of my house. I'm not living in a cardboard box. You know, I don't have to drink over this today. And then my spiritual condition hits equilibrium. I feel a little better about myself. You know, I can pray about it, whatever I need to do, meditate again. And that's the program. It's a new way of living. Instead of, you know, a couple years ago, that guy's a dick, and I'm going to the liquor store and I'm going to get obliterated. And then, you know, I didn't even realize it, so that I don't have to stress about that anymore. But I'll tell you what, I don't know if you're a drinker, but, you know, you pissed off at somebody and resentful, and you go to the liquor store, you're going to be sitting there miserable, you know, still running that crap through your head over and over again about how that guy is a bad guy and, you know, why you're mad at him. And that's the problem with alcoholics. I mean, at least for me, I know, like, we know what everybody else needs to do, but we don't take our own advice because we are, you know, the guy might be, you know, a total, you know, jackhole, but when he deals with me, he's not supposed to be that way. Well, that's an unrealistic expectation. So, you know, I should accept the fact that the guy's a jackhole. He's a jackhole to everybody else. He's going to be a jackhole to me. And, you know, maybe I should not deal with this guy anymore. You know, that's probably the best plan. You know, this guy's ripped off everybody I know, but I'm going to come let him stay at my house because I need some money. Oh, wait, he ripped me off. That's crazy. Why would he do the same thing to me he does to everyone else? So I know for me, I put myself in situations that make my own problems of my own making, as the big book talks about. So anyway, I've been rambling now here for a pretty long time. I got to get ready to go to work. Just the update is that I'm still hanging in there. I'm not, you know, I haven't achieved the goal of 100% sobriety yet, but I see it coming, and it just takes work, you know, working with my sponsor, going to meetings, praying. Don't quit before the miracle happens. Well, I hope you all have a good day. And I just want to say, I don't really know how to, you know, do the comments thing and all that. You know, leave me a comment if you have a comment on this. I see that I had a few more views. I don't know if people are watching. I mean, I'm not a YouTuber where I've got, tons of views, but if you'd like to drop me a line, I'm going to leave you my email since I don't know how to put it in there and all that, but it's Piaster67, which is P as in Paul, I-A-S as in Sam, T as in tornado, ER67 at hotmail.com. Piaster67 at hotmail.com. Feel free to send me any comments or suggestions or questions that you might have. And, bless you. And, no, I'm not a expert at the 12 steps. I'm just learning and, but I see improvement. Not drinking anymore. I mean, I have thrown a couple of other substances in the mix because, it's what alcoholics and addicts do. We figure if we can tweak the formula a little bit, we can get things to work. Life on life's terms is not something that I have ever been interested in. Unfortunately, I can't change that law of nature or whatever you want to call it. Life happens. I have to accept things I can't control. I'm getting better at it, but I am not, I'm not the spiritual Jedi that I would like to be. But anyway, I look forward to hearing from you. And if you enjoyed this video, please like it. Be blessed.